Hello, I'm Adrian, and today we're taking an in-depth look at Spider-Man's fighting style in the MCU. Spider-Man is one of the most athletic and strongest characters in the Marvel Universe. He's an absolute force to be reckoned with, and made even all the more dangerous by his spider sense, which gives him an unparalleled view of his surroundings where he's able to anticipate attacks before they even happen. With his enhanced reflexes, he's also able to react accordingly. He's had several cinematic versions, and today we're analyzing his most recent incarnation in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in Captain America Civil War to try and find out how many fighting styles this Spider-Man is proficient at. Before I begin, I will clarify that in the comics, Spider-Man actually develops a martial art of his own called the Way of the Spider, but since we're taking a look at his film incarnation, we're going to assume he hasn't done this yet, as this new version of Spider-Man is extremely inexperienced and is still coming to terms with his immense skills and powers, and more than anything else, relies on his spider sense. Therefore, it would be somewhat foolish to assume Peter Parker has had time to accomplish martial arts training with his packed schedule, or develop one of his own for that matter. But for purposes of this video, I will be pointing out which fighting styles Peter Parker could become familiar with as he matures into his role as our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. This incarnation of Spider-Man relies very heavily on his web shooters to be an effective fighter. He uses them to disarm Captain America, take out the Falcon's flight mechanism, trap both him and the Winter Soldier, and even as a tripwire for Ant-Man. As such, Spider-Man is an incredibly skilled marksman, as he is essentially firing web-based bullets, and the closest thing we can come to that is action shooting, a category within sports shooting which places great emphasis on movement and speed as well as precision. Spider-Man needs to be able to shoot perfectly while on the move, as his enemies will never give him an extra second to line up the perfect shot. Spider-Man is also incredibly skilled in sticking landings, such as right when he comes in from swinging his web, after he delivers a kick, or even when his line is broken by Captain America. It also goes without saying he's absurdly flexible and fast, and can contort his body into the air to nimbly avoid projectiles. The closest thing to this in real life would be gymnastics. Spider-Man without a doubt could easily compete in every single one of the gymnastic events and win gold. And just like how Captain America turned discus throw into lethal fighting style, Spider-Man can as well with gymnastics. Continuing with turning Olympic events into weapons, Spider-Man has a natural talent in weightlifting. When Cap has this structure come crashing down on him, Spider-Man manages to keep it at bay while holding a pose very reminiscent of the final phase of a clean and jerk, where the goal is to lift a very heavy barbell above your head for a brief period of time before dropping it. Of course, Spider-Man is not a trained Olympic athlete, so his form is a little poor, but his overwhelming strength indicates that he has a natural talent for it, and lifting things over your head is a valuable talent for a superhero, as you can later throw those things, just as how he threw the object right back at Winter Soldier. While he is in midair with Falcon, he actually tries to break free of the hold Falcon has him in by moving his right arm across his neck and applying pressure. This finally pushes Falcon's head far enough to the left, successfully making Falcon lessen his hold, thus giving Spider-Man the opportunity to slip out of his grasp pretty easily. Even though they are in the air, these are basic maneuvers in a ground fight when you're both in a horizontal space. Considering Spider-Man is going to be getting into a tussle with the Vulture, a high-flying villain, it would behoove him to learn even more complex grappling techniques to get out of these situations. And since Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu worked so well for Captain America, and Spider-Man has shown he has a natural talent in these kind of holds, it would probably do wonders for Spider-Man as well. Curiously enough, this version of Spider-Man currently shares one very significant similarity with his animated version from the 90s. He never throws a punch. Sure, he catches one, but he instead prefers to do most of his fighting with his legs. He push kicks Falcon into oblivion and also kicks Captain America after he webs him up. This version of Spider-Man is very much a kicker, and as I've covered in several other videos, the best martial art dedicated to the art of kicking is Taekwondo. It would work terrifically for Spider-Man because he would be more than capable of performing the martial arts' flashier techniques. Spider-Man also executes the mainstay move of professional wrestling, the drop kick. Considering how theatrical Spider-Man likes to fight, it would probably be great for him to further deepen his knowledge in this style, as professional wrestling is all about the coolest looking high-flying moves. Taking all of this into consideration, how many fighting styles is this Spider-Man capable of or has a natural talent in? They are action shooting, gymnastics, weightlifting, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Taekwondo, and professional wrestling. Which brings the total to 6 fighting styles. What other character would you like to see me break down in terms of his fighting style? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe and follow me on my social media accounts to be notified when another new episode premieres. It would also be great if you could join my Patreon, as you can get exclusive rewards there. See you next time.